Hello, welcome. If you're watching the replay, maybe skip forward a few minutes just to avoid the intro, and don't forget to do all the things wherever they are, whichever platform you're on. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, whatever. Thank you for joining. We're going to do a collective reading today, as usual, and see what we have going on in the collective energies that affect us all. So, hi, Holly. Good afternoon. How are you? We'll give a little bit of time for folks to file in, as usual. Shauna, hello, darling. It's good. I've been resting. This weekend, I've been doing a lot of resting. I worked a little bit, but I needed to get some extra sleep. So I did just that. So it's been nice. How are you? Hi, Anna. Great to see you, gorgeous. You're well. Good, Holly. I'm glad. I haven't been doing a lot of checking in with people the last few days, so I'll have to reach out and chat with you. Give a few more minutes and then we'll get into it. Hello, Lori. Did you get notified this time? You're here on time. That's awesome. And tell Lynn that we all said hi, please, if she's not watching too. All right. A couple more minutes, maybe, and then we'll start. How has everybody been? How's everyone doing with the collective gunk right now? I know that I'm feeling kind of tired and depleted, but I was also, my body was fighting off whatever the boys had. So I didn't get sick, but I definitely listened to my body's cues and rested when I needed to so that I didn't get sick. So avoided tragedy right there. Because if mom's out, then nobody is safe, right? No notification? That's crazy. But totally understandable. I don't get a lot of notifications from Facebook either. So, and I wasn't sure if it was Facebook in general or if it's just because mine's a creator profile. I don't know, but I don't see birthdays. If I'm scrolling and I happen to see someone wish someone else that I know a happy birthday, then I'm like, oh, and I'll go wish them a happy birthday. But other than that, I don't see a lot for some reason. But yeah, it's Facebook. It has bugs. We know that. All right, so we can just start. Don't want to take it too long. We're already at 3.5 minutes in. So, hi, Susan. How are you, beauty? Okay. Hi, Katie. You have trouble with Facebook too? Okay. So it's not just a me thing. I'm like, I don't see a lot, so don't hold me accountable for stuff that I don't know about. Oh man. That's just how it be though sometimes. But it's okay. All right. So, you are the creator of your own reality. Let's just get that straight. Magician, bottom of the deck. This is awesome, Susan. I'm glad. So, with the magician showing up here, this is, with everything going on, everything being topsy turvy, upside down, inside out, whatever, there's a lot, and I have been intentionally kind of not looking at all of the atrocities that are being highlighted right now because I already know. I already know myself and I don't want to get sucked back into that because, I in 2020 when a lot of this stuff first started coming out, I stumbled down tons of rabbit holes and I was also in the thick of just the beginning of having found out about my own daughter's SA. um, with regard to my ex, and all of that stuff was going down at that time. So I already got sucked down really deep into that hole. And, I know about a lot of the things. I don't need validation or confirmation of what I already found out years ago. You just now got a notification and it said Steph Fontaine's friends also follow Rebel. That's so weird. All the cool kids are doing it. Hey, everybody follow me. We'll just stumble off into some rabbit holes together, huh? So, with everything that is surfacing with regard to information, all of it, um, we have the choice to either get sucked into all of the many different perspectives and emotions that come along with everything that's surfacing right now and everything that's going on right now. Um, you went down the rabbit holes in 2020. Yeah, it only confirms everything that, we've known even before 2020, so protect your own peace, okay? Because those of us who are consciously aware and tapped in have a greater grasp on the power that we wield as individuals, but also as the collective, right? So we have a greater impact. Just like you hear that, these chosen ones, which I hate, I despise that label. There is no chosen ones. We are all chosen. So that's just another spiritual um, loop. Okay. Sorry, brain's trying to come up with and grab the labels. That's another spiritual side quest that we can get trapped in. It's an ascension trap. Okay. So that just goes to serve the ego. Oh, hey, I'm chosen. All of these other motherfuckers ain't chosen. They're all muggles. You've heard it all in the spiritual communities. And I've always been of the perspective, I don't care who you are, whether you are, a queen, a CEO, a janitor, an HVAC specialist, whatever it is you are, you're no different than me. You're no higher or lower than I am. So I will just speak to people as if they're right on my level, because everyone in existence, everyone who is a being, regardless of whether you're human or not, has sovereignty, is valid. So the chosen ones thing really gets under my skin, because it's just another one of those ego traps that keeps people stuck in lower frequencies. So you've heard the term that people that are like the chosen ones, or the 144,000, or anyone who is identifies with being a spiritual being. Okay. We've heard that those who are awakened, regardless of the label, have a lot more impact on the collective consciousness because they are awakened. Whatever label you throw on it doesn't matter. Chosen ones, it just kind of really gets under my skin. I've been seeing a lot of that lately too, so thought I would highlight that. But because we are so anchored in our frequency, in the truth of who we are, and we are awakened, we do have more of an impact on overall outcomes for the collective itself. Okay, so we know there's a lot of us here, regardless of belief system or whatever. We are all here. We're serving our own functions at our own levels, impacting the collectives or the groups that we are resonant with. Okay, hi Ben, I see you. Missed you too. All right, water's starting to flow. Ugh. All right, so we're the magicians. We're turning all of this around. The magician in the tarot is the alchemist, is the one who has all of the tools and also the knowledge and wisdom on how to combine certain things in order to create different things, right? That's what an alchemist is. They alchemize different aspects and they create something else from those. So we're all seeing, hi, We are all chosen. We chose to be here at this time. Exactly, Susan. Thank you. So we are actively impacting the collective as the collective navigates these difficult and very turbulent times. Okay. So that being said, when we are rocked, which is perfectly valid, perfectly human, it's going to happen. We're not always going to be able to control it. Okay. We feel our emotions, we express all the shit, and then we come back to center and we anchor deeper into our own frequency, our source frequency, not the inverted, you know, earth matrix false shit. So just by anchoring our own frequencies, by navigating when we are triggered and then coming back to our own frequency and anchoring deeper in that, we're actively shifting for the greater collective. Okay. So whether that's you seeing something in your news feed, on the news, on TikTok or YouTube or wherever you get your media, and you're impacted on a deep level, don't bypass that, right? Move through it, navigate through it, and then come back to your own soul's frequency. Integrate whatever you need to, because you're going to be triggered on an individual level by everything that's happening right now. That's not avoidable, but it is necessary because we align ourselves, we rebalance ourselves with regard to our own individual experience. And that echoes out to the collective, that ripples out and impacts the collective frequency. When we individually take care of our own shit, when we do our own shadow work, that contributes to the greater collective. So by living our experience and navigating our experience authentically with sovereignty, we're doing so much work for the greater collective. We don't have to be involved directly in what's happening collectively. Okay, so it goes back to what I've been saying. If you feel like you need to speak up, advocate, talk to someone about what's going on, help to plant seeds, whatever you need to do, then do that. But if you're not called to do that, then there's no fault in that. If you're called to heal yourself and to cut yourself off from the collective happenings, from the news, because it's all programming, we know that, then do that. Everyone serves their own function in this game, and that's exactly what it is. So alchemizing your own shit, your own triggers, that's turning your pain into promise, that's turning your trauma into knowledge and wisdom, and coming to terms with it in whatever way makes the most sense for you to function like a cognitive, balanced human being. The last few weeks I've had a lot of shadow work plus decluttering. Yep, that'll happen. They go hand in hand. Yeah. I know you're doing an amazing job of it too, Katie. So you're going to be triggered, whether that's by collective things happening or triggering things happening within your own lived experience with the people that you're connected to or the situations that you're connected to. You're going to be triggered. Simple as that. That's just the time we're in right now. But you are the alchemist. You get to decide the outcome, how this impacts you, how you navigate the situation. And all ways are valid, because that's your experience. That's your chosen experience. You're welcome. So navigating news that may not be easily digestible for you, that may be hurtful for you, whether that's a personal level or because you are highly empathic, okay, you're going to be rocked. You're going to be confused. Ace of Swords in the reverse too. So now is the time to boundary up with yourself too. That means actively choosing when you start feeling like you're getting, too sucked into something, especially if it doesn't affect you personally, directly. That's placing boundaries with yourself, like I just told you a few minutes ago that I did. Like, am I, I'm a very evidence-based person, believe it or not. I don't know how I do what I do, but I am a very, cerebral person, evidence-based person. I like to analyze. I like to see the proof in the pudding. Don't ask me how I got here, because I incorporate the both. I blend them, and that's what we're supposed to do as alchemists, right? But for one side of me, seeing everything, hi Kara, love you, seeing everything outlined, seeing the evidence and the who's and the where's and the what's and the whens and the whys and all of that that's contained within all of the information that's surfacing right now, just not just with the e-files. There's a lot more going on, as there tends to be with huge shifts. I'm not looking at those things because I already know. I don't need that external validation. I don't need to be re-triggered and re-traumatized to process all that's contained within that, because I already have a general idea. I already did a lot of rabbit hole tripping. Okay. So I'm not going to allow myself to be sucked into that, because I've already healed a lot of that. I've already surpassed most of that, and whatever may need to surface to be healed will come in its own time. But I'm not trying to get sucked into lower frequencies and get taken back to exactly where I was and what state I was in when I started really realizing what goes on in the greater collective, of those who exert power over the masses. Okay. So I've boundaried up. I can pass by, like if I'm scrolling on Facebook or something, I can pass by one of these posts, kind of scan through it and just, okay, yeah, I know that. I'm glad that everyone else is awakening to that. And yes, it's hard for others. Yes, it's really, triggering and traumatizing for other people. And I get that, but I also get the fact that this needed to happen, that these people needed to be impacted on such a deep level for this change to come about. I don't need to go and attach cords to that and start feeling with my empathy everything that everyone else is feeling, because that's exactly what would happen. When you get too invested in it, you'll take on, as an empath, you will take on all of the thoughts and feelings of everyone connected to that, but also the collective that's seeing it. So you don't really know what's yours and what's not after some time in that energy. Okay. So setting those boundaries with yourself and also with others, so that you maintain your frequency without so much input from, the collective or whoever you're connecting to. Um, Done something new too, planning a big seed. I hired a room for an hour a week to start second guided meditation group. I love that, Katie. That's awesome. Let us know how all that goes. I know it's going to go really well for you, though, but we like to keep abreast. So you are the wizard. You are the sorcerer. Okay? Your perspective alone can shift hundreds of thousands of perspectives, as long as you stay in your authentic soul's frequency. Hood Love Community, bottom of the deck. This is all about the greater collective. This is all about loving those, even, and I know, don't come for me, even if they have opposing views. Because we have to remember what we know about programming, and about those who have been programmed and programmed and programmed life after life after life after life on this karmic wheel that Earth has been trapped in. So some of these people have this programming so deeply embedded because they've been on that wheel of karma. They've been on that reincarnation wheel. Okay. Finish a life, go right back in. You know how it is. Most of you. If you don't, then, drop a comment and I'll try to address that. Alec rarely goes on Facebook or other social media anymore because it was getting too overwhelming and addictive. Yeah. He's concentrating on getting his GED. I love that. Tell Alec congratulations. We're rooting for him. Booked from the 27th of February to April to start. Awesome, Katie. I love that. So take a step back. Take a deep breath. Remember who you are, okay? You can be the observer of everything that's going on and not allow yourself to be so deeply impacted by it. And if you can't, there's a trigger there that's rooted to something else that's bringing awareness to a problem that you haven't yet fully satisfied, fully solved. Okay. So this is deeper trauma from your past, perhaps even past lives. You are going to be the one to figure that out. Okay. And we have another card of sorcery, revelation. Get to the bottom of it. See why you are so deeply impacted, why you're so deeply triggered by this. And it could be just as simple as you have deep empathy for others, especially for children. Okay. And there's a lot of darkness surrounding the world's children. There has been for millennia. So get to the bottom of it. Do your shadow work. You've already done so much. You know how to do it. Move through it. Allow the emotions to wash over you, filter through you. Okay. Express them in healthy ways, however you need to. But then don't allow that to take over you. Come back to center. Hey, Steph. Shauna was told that I was live and that her friend Steph Fontaine was a follower of mine and suggested that she follow me too. So you were already mentioned in this live. Little did you know. You've been summoned. So, yes, observe, engage when you feel guided to, okay? But don't allow it to overtake you because it is so easy to do. Trust me, I know. Magic alignment. When you are aligned to your soul's authentic and sovereign frequency. Hi, Alec. Thank you for highing through your mom. When you are aligned to your soul's frequency, that's the magic. That's the power you possess. That is how you have the greater impact, not being overthrown by collective fear and pain and trauma and getting so angry and frustrated and sad all at the same time. You're not operating from your soul's true authentic frequency when you're in that collective frequency. You're operating from what's generated by the collective, a lot of whom are not really awakened. They're just finding all of this out. There's cognitive dissonance. There's, mental imbalances that are running rampant right now and valid, okay? Completely valid. Justifiable, yes. But when you're operating from that chaotic frequency, you have less of an impact, even though you are awakened, even though you are aware, even though you generally operate through your own soul's frequency most of the time. When you're operating in that field, you're not on your own ground, okay? You're not on your own playing field. So you're getting sucked into whatever the collective attention and programming and perspective is pointing to in that moment, whatever is, the most cohesive bit of that. Okay. And I say cohesive lightly because operating from cognitive dissonance and mental imbalance and these fragmented aspects, which all are in the collective energy right now, you're not going to have such an impact because you're there, because it brings you right back to the unawakened version of you that contributed to that greater collective unconscious. Okay. So feel your shit, feel the emotions, express them in healthy ways, but bring yourself back. Put up those boundaries, put up those perimeters with yourself and with others. Okay. And say, maybe in small doses, maybe I'll just once a week, I'll kind of gloss over what's going on just so I can keep abreast kind of at what's going on with the collective. Don't look at every single page of every single memo, of every single post, of every single video, of every single anything. Okay. For your own sake. I'm not telling you what to do. You're going to do what you're going to do. And that's your path. That's your whatever. But for your overall well-being, for you to stay in your own divinity, it's best not to allow yourself to hyper focus on what's going on collectively right now. Hyper focus on your own frequency. Okay. Hyper focus is one of our gifts and also kind of some of our downfalls sometimes, but use it. Hyper focus on your own frequency, your own authenticity. Okay. Be that rock, unmovable, unshakable, even with the earthquakes that are happening quite literally, might I add. Gaia is responding. Okay. She's responding to the collective chaos. She is purging these energies that are all around and within her because of the collective beings and what they're going through. Okay. She's a filter. Just like when we say, ground yourself, give it to Gaia, put it into the earth and then imagine it being transformed and taken from you and created into some better energy to be dispersed for the collective, all of that. Gaia is a purifier. So that's what she's doing. And she's taking on so much right now that she can't help but shake and pop off. There's volcanic eruptions. There are volcanoes that have been dormant for thousands of years that are reawakening. Can you believe it? Yes. So just understand that there's a lot going on right now. None of it is within your control. Okay. So don't try to control it. Don't try to control other people's perspectives or beliefs. Plant the seeds and move on. Okay. You're not going to be able to walk someone's path for them. We've already established that over the last 3 years. So just do what you can do. Plant the seeds and move on. If you keep checking it or keep barking at them, trying to change them, they're going to become more rigid in their position and you're not going to be able to affect them in a positive way. Then it just turns toxic. Okay. So keep an open mind, have empathy for others, even those who have opposing views from you. And I know it's hard for me too. I said understand, yes. It's actually something, I didn't make it up. It's something that's been said a lot across spiritual communities everywhere. But yes, understand. I don't like understand because I don't stand under anyone. Okay. So understand is really absorbing that information and allowing it to reveal itself through you. So thank you, Shauna, but I'm not going to take credit for what's not mine. So you are the alchemist. You can transform. It's news to you. Well, hey girl, you learned something new today. But yeah, it's been around probably longer than I've been alive. Who knows? I don't know where I got it, somewhere. Ooh, I like this. Also, bottom of the deck energy. I'm going to take it because they brought my attention to it. Autonomy. This is like the Chariot card. We do have the Chariot that came out here in a minute. I'll show you. It is in the reverse though. But this is talking about maintaining your autonomy by balancing the light and the dark. We all have light and darkness within us. Okay. We know not to discount the darkness, not to hide from the darkness, not to be all love and light. Okay, we know how to integrate our shadows. And by doing that, we are even more powerful because we can pull them bitches out of our back pocket and use them whenever we need to. Okay, and trust me, I have. And I continue to do so on a regular basis when needed. Saying inner stand for decades. Yeah. I believe it. Hi, Lori. How are you? Lost track of time. Hey, girl, that's okay. It happens to the best of us. Um, so maintain your autonomy, okay? Integrate the shadows, use them. They are just energy. Energy is energy, whether it's light or dark, high frequency, low frequency. All it is energy. We are the alchemists, okay? We use the light and the darkness. They're at our disposal anytime we need them, unless we're the love and lighters that try to just ignore the darkness and pretend like it's not there and don't touch it, don't go near it because we're too afraid. Fear, okay? Number one ingredient that they like to use, fear. So all those love and lighters don't even realize that they're going right along with the collective programming, even still, even in spiritual spaces, so it is what it is. Use the light in the dark. If you are confronted by someone who is berating you with opposing views, then stand the fuck up for yourself. Advocate, speak some truth, okay? Give some examples of tangible information or whatever it is that you need to do in that moment, but don't completely engage with them. Slap them over the head with some knowledge and then walk your pretty little ass on, okay? Don't engage with the lower level behaviors, but also don't allow them to attack you without any kind of retaliation or protection. That's not what we're about. We're warriors in a garden, not gardeners in a war. Okay? So you use the shadow when you need to. Stand up, rise up, revolt whenever you're called to, if you're called to. But don't just lie down and take it. Love and lighters, lie down and take it. That's not us. That's not sovereign. That's programming. That's sheeple. We don't do that here. So pull that darkness out of your back pocket when you need to defend yourself or others. Allow them to understand your lightness. Some would call that manipulation, but no, baby. If you want to underestimate me because I'm kind and because I can have a really soft spoken little voice here and I come in a tiny package, go ahead and fucking misunderstand me. I dare you. Because this bitch is also from the streets. And she will whoop your ass with knowledge and fists if she needs to. Okay? You guys know I'm spunky. I didn't I didn't become peaceful because I'm passive. No, no, no. I become peaceful because I know how dangerous I can be when I'm not peaceful. And I know when I need to use that and when not to. I had to use that at the end of my relationship when everything started coming to light about my daughter being abused and everything. But before I found out about that, I had to dig down deep and use every single ounce of that fight to separate from that situation, to literally save my children. Now, I stumbled in the living room when my ex was smothering one of my babies. He was 5 months old. And I didn't lay down and take it. I didn't get on the phone and call police and give him time to finish the job. No. I went on the attack. I pushed a 250-pound man, 6 foot tall, muscular, down on the ground, and I snatched my baby up and ran my baby to safety. That's the fight in me. I don't care how big you are, how tough you think you are. I will still fight. And that is healthy. Love and lighters wouldn't think so. But fuck with a mama bear and see what happens, right? Love and light will end up on your hips due to not processing. Yep, yep. We run over mean feet and also give hugs freely depending on the circumstances. Yes. Yes, Susan. Yeah, I've been through a lot, in my life. I've experienced a lot of darkness, but I have fight in me. I can be kind and understanding and empathetic, and I can cry at the drop of a hat. But I can also fuck you up. I don't care how big you are, So that's right, Mama Bear. Yep. So, we don't spiritually bypass here. We don't pretend like there is no darkness. No. We are peaceful because we know our darkness and because we've made friends with it. And we can call it in for backup anytime, anywhere. So that's what revolution is. It's not all peace, all love and light. If we show them how peaceful we are, then they won't tread on us. They won't take away our rights. They won't kill us in the streets. You tell me how historically accurate that is. You must fight for what it is you believe in. That is growth. That is flow. Fighting against because you oppose someone, that is not growth. That is not going to go anywhere, not in your favor, because what you fight against is persisting. But when you fight to elevate what you love, what you believe in, that's where the magic happens. And that's why they make you pledge allegiance to your homeland where you were born. That's why they make you love your land that you're from so much and falsify camaraderie and say it's noble to go off and fight in wars that are started by fat pockets just to pad their pockets even more, because that's patriotic. That's what you do because you love your country and the people that live in it. But that's false. But that's how they manipulate the collective consciousness into doing their dirty work. So keep that in mind. 5 of Cups. You may not like everything that you're seeing right now. You're not going to. Promise you, you're not going to. But that doesn't mean that you remain sedentary, that you don't do anything about it. You play your part, whatever you're called to do, whether that's to the front lines or those who support, those who come in and provide, support, medical services or support services by way of mental, emotional healing, whatever it is that you're called to do. Even if you're called to just shine on being your beautiful, authentic self, then fucking do it. We all are going to have a different part to play. I don't know anything about chess, but I know there's the knights, the rooks, the pawns, the bishops, the queens. Like they all have moves that they can and cannot make. They all have, certain levels of power that they can and can't achieve. It's all part of the entire game. It's all part of the whole, but we each individually serve our purpose. Those motherfuckers will indeed load you up on cattle cars. Don't cave to the man. Stand your ground and see what is and what isn't. Yes. Oh, Helena's in here. Hi, Helena. I didn't see your comment. Sorry, I'm in the channel. I'm getting a little fired up here. Starting grad school in May in mental health counseling. I love it, Shauna. Congratulations. I think that is how I will serve on the front lines. I love it. That's perfectly fitting and appropriate for you. I love it. You're going to do great things. Definitely. So you're going to see 5 of Cups, things that you don't want to see. Might even kind of rope you into self-sabotaging behaviors. Okay. It happens to the best of us. Don't judge yourself for it. When you recognize it, shift, pivot, and keep moving. You're the wizard. You're the alchemist. Balance yourself. Okay. Don't get sucked down into that 5 of Cups hole. Pour some emotion in if you need to. Let it go. But don't stay there, because that's when you stagnate. You're welcome. The wheel showing up in the reverse. It might look like things are not moving forward. For humanity, for the collective, looks like regression. Looks like we're going back through the same old cycles right on over again. But this time, there are too many who are awakened to the system. Slid a moldavite ring on last summer and grew a set. Yes, ma'am. My necklace that I wear all the time has moldavite, but it's a triple tektite. It's Libyan desert glass and Indochinite in there with the moldavite, and it was a doozy for sure. Danielle, hello, darling. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, moldavite will have you grow in a set. I have another, oh, maybe I don't have it on my desk right now. I think I moved it, but I have a larger chunk of moldavite somewhere else. Who knows where I put it? I put it where I'm called to, and then I'll just leave it and then forget where I put it. So yeah. But with that Wheel of Fortune showing up in the reverse, it doesn't mean that we're regressing. It doesn't mean that we're going back through the same old cycles again and again and again. Your moldavite pendant disappeared. That's because it served its purpose. Katie, it jumped dimensions. I had a piece of moldavite do that to me. I really did. And it was right, like, let me see, like a year and a half into my path as a single mom of 4 kids. You know, after all of that shit came to light about my ex and having to live in hiding and move different states and, you know, all of it. Once I got here where I am now, it skipped, bounced. It was like, I got you here, now my job is done, and it skipped dimensions. So yeah, it was, that definitely will happen, especially with moldavite. It's got a reputation of sorts. So it served its purpose for you, and it was like, okay, I'm getting the fuck on out of here. So you can get another piece. But yeah, that does happen. Took my moldavite off after 2 years. You go take a break, moldy. Yep. That's completely understandable too, Steph. I hang mine on my my selenite little bracelet holder thing that I got from Kara. It's on a stand and it's a bar of selenite. I always put it over here when I'm about to do my lives. Let me grab it. Oh. Okay, it's this, and it goes on a bar. So like whenever I'm done using my jewelry that I use for work, like my bracelets, I'll take them off and I'll put them on here, and then I'll drape my necklaces over it. My moldavite always goes on it. So yeah, I'm always cleansing and charging those bitches because gotta have them at full power. So yeah, I love it. My moldavite pendant doesn't leave my neck. Love that, Lori. Some people, you know, it takes wearing it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, building up to being able to wear it all the time. But some of us are completely 100% comfortable with it. And that was me. I put mine on. I started with the moldavite ring and I didn't have to take it off, but other people would put it on and be like, oh, take this, get it off of me. So yeah, it will definitely get you to face some shit, but it also holds your hand through it. It's not gonna baby you through it, but it definitely will assist you through it. So we're not regressing. We're not going back around. We're not cycling back through this, because with us, whether our gender is male, female, or otherwise, okay, we bring the divine feminine frequency, the void. This is the place where all creation takes root, okay? This is where the idea happens before it starts to tangibilize, before it starts to become something that is true, tangible, something that you can see, something that you can experience. It all starts as an idea, a thought. That is creation. And all of us volunteers are creative in some way. There are also volunteers that are not here to be the awakened, okay? That are not here to be, yes, let's shift into the new earth. There are volunteers here who volunteer to play the bad guy. Star seeds take all kinds. We're not only the ones that are, yes, let's shift this shit into higher frequencies, higher dimensions. Let's get everyone, out of the slave camp. Some star seeds are from regressive species, are meant to also volunteer here for the overall good and ascension of Gaia and her inhabitants. Okay, let's just get that one out. But they're here to manifest as darkness, because that darkness reveals more of the light within others. Okay, so they're here for their soul's purpose, the overall evolution and collective well-being, by serving a darker purpose. Okay, so just because someone is starseed does not make them this holy, immaculate, wonderful being. So be mindful of that. You guys know about regressive reptilian species, and all of there's many, not just reptilian, but you guys know that there are regressive species out there, and yes, they do also incarnate just as starseeds did. So we're not meant to carry on with this collective pattern repeating. Okay, we're meant to be the rock in the path. We're meant to be the squeaky cog in the wheel. We're meant to make the fucking wheels fall off. Yes, reptilians are also starseeds. Yep. You have selenite on your night table. They recharge every night. Love it. So we're here to be the thorn in the side that you can't not pay attention to. And that changes everything. Okay? But we're not all here to serve a positive purpose. And I want you guys to really take that in and be aware. Okay? Discernment is key. Whoever's on your frequency, whether, high frequency, low frequency, somewhere in between, doesn't matter. Discernment. Who is and isn't right for you at your frequency. But we are here to bring this divine feminine. We are here to seed the divine feminine and allow her to take root on this plane. We are here to channel animal energy. But this is the channel card. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, channel. It's very blurry. Anyway, we're here to channel our authentic frequency. Animals are represented on the card. I see people as other animals, like as animals that they've incarnated as before, and I can see multiple in people. And then I can see like the most recent or the most powerful energy. You can just see it in them, like their features and their energy and everything about them. I can anyway. Some of us come in with those frequencies still present, their residual energy, because those animal frequencies also contribute to what's happening in our individual lives as well as the collective. Um, I just got a joke from Urma. Assuming you're an axolotl. I love that. Where's my axolotl? I have one here somewhere. Where'd she go? Oh, maybe I rotated her. I didn't think so. I thought I had her out here all the time, but I guess I must have rotated her somewhere else. Anyway, I have a little strawberry quartz axolotl. She's so cute. I'll have to take a picture and send it to you, Shauna. But anyway, you know, the animals that people are most interested in, you'll see like, you know, animal experts that will just really specialize in one kind of animal and they've had a lot of experiences as that species. So that's why they connect so easily with them. A lot of us were cats, our cats somewhere else, even our own cats or other people's cats. So it's a little more in depth, but we'll just leave that right there because I'm like lagging. It's going to be like an hour and a half long again, but it's okay. Hi, Lisa. So we're here to channel, to anchor those frequencies, whether they are humanoid or not. And we're meant to anchor that energy here and remembering or having this residual energy. You're still a cat, Lisa. I believe that. Having that residual energy or that that concurrent energy, it helps. Okay, it impacts. And cats are interdimensional. They walk between worlds. So it wouldn't surprise me if most of you guys are also cats. But we're meant to channel this energy, anchor it, to emotionally balance ourselves, okay? To live and operate from a space of non-resistance while anchoring our own individual frequencies here, whatever they might consist of. Sexuality is here. This is creation energy. This is the source of creation. Your sexuality is your creative energy. It's not only your creative energy, and your creative energy isn't only within your sexuality, but it does have a lot to do with one another. That's your sacral chakra. Okay. That's where your creativity exists. So, you know, when you're really feeling yourself and you're really confident and you're really just like operating from that space of passion and creativity, it manifests differently than when you are, you know, feeling 5 of cups and you go trying to create from the 5 of cups energy. What do you think you're going to get? You're going to create something, but it might just be a pile of shit, you know? So tap into that creative energy. It does not have to be sexual whatsoever. They're talking about the sacral chakra. So being balanced mentally and emotionally, which is what the King of Cups represents as emotional balance, emotional intelligence, okay? Being unfuckwithable. There ain't nothing that's going to throw him off his game right now. He's tapped in to his creativity, but also to his crown chakra. Look, see that crown hovering above his head? He is open, selective, but open. I don't think I look like a cat, but I'm very much connected to my uttermost self. I know exactly what I look like in my name and what I do. I know, Steph. So again, another card of how magical you are. Which metaverse? You are not just connected to the universe, okay? Universe, Y-O universe, okay? Meta means the greater, the more grand version, right? Metaverse, when we think of universe is singular, universe. This whole group of us all being present, all being here with one another, even though we're in different parts of the world. Okay. That's meta. That is the macro. Uni is the micro. Okay. You're tapped into the greater collective. You have so much impact. That little drop that you're putting into the greater pot, that's going to have a reaction. It's going to have an impact. Okay. Whether you like it or not, whether you realize it or not. Every single drop of energy that you put out from your universe impacts the metaverse, the collective of universes. Okay. So make sure that you're operating from a space of love. Future love letter. You can hate everything that you see happening right now. You can feel strongly about it. But that just shows you how much you love, the capacity for love within you. That's why injustice feels so bad when you witness it, when you experience it, when you see others experiencing it. That's why it hits you right here. You can't look away, but you also don't want to keep watching. That's because you care. That's because you're attached, because you love so deeply. But considering that, take a step back. Consider if you saw something completely unjust happening to someone who is a mouthpiece, an active supporter, just a shit stir, whatever, instigator, pot stirrer. If you saw something terribly tragic and unjust happening to them, would you feel any less? They're completely innocent in whatever takes place. Whatever takes place is completely unjust and they didn't deserve it, no matter how shitty of a human being they act as. Something that they're a complete victim in. Would you feel empathy for them? Even just looking at that situation, not counting everything else they've done, would you feel empathy for them? I'm not giving you an answer. I'm just giving that as food for thought. So it's your job to love unconditionally. If you had a child that was so precious to you and that you cared for and shaped and molded and held their hand through life, and then they grew up and then they did something awful and tragic that was unjust to one person or even a group of people, would you love them any less? You could hate the behavior. You could hate the manifestation of what happened while still loving them. That's why I never got the whole God concept being like a vengeful God. Like, why would, if you loved your children so deeply, why would you throw them in fire to burn for all eternity? Like, what is that? Because I know if I love someone, I love them regardless of their actions. I can hate their actions. I can judge their actions and tell them what a piece of shit they're being, but still love them. There's a difference. I have a visceral reaction to any type of injustice, especially violence. Yes, I get it, Shauna. Totally get that. Autistic. So yeah, I totally get that. But you know, it's just expanding perspectives is what I'm after here with what I'm saying. Um, you know, I've had a lot of experience. I've loved a lot of people who did not great things, who did bad things. they were amazing to me. They, you know, not all of them, some of them were amazing to me. Some of them were great most of the time to me. I loved them. I developed that connection, but then absolutely detested their behavior or their actions, right? So having unconditional love for this collective, for humanity, looks a little different from time to time, right? So I'm just trying to put it in a little bit of perspective, so you guys can work through that however it makes the most sense for you. But yeah, I don't want to see anyone being harmed, and yes, would do my best to help or save them. Exactly, Susan. But I would add, I do not feel love for all people. I want to, but I'm human this time around. And that's perfectly valid and that's perfectly human. And you don't have to love every single human. You don't. I don't. I certainly don't. Um, but I do have compassion for people's basic human rights. We'll say that. I think anyone and everyone deserves basic human rights. So, regardless of what they do. So, you know, might be controversial, but I think even like serial killers, I don't agree with the death penalty. I don't agree that a life or 7 or 100 lives, taking one life to try to rebalance or repay that, I don't think that that does anything positive, you know? And a lot of people argue about like, oh, you have to pay for them to be in prison. Baby, prison is a cash business. They make plenty of money to be able to take care of their own prisoners, but they get money from the government regardless. So it's not the prisoners that should be blamed for that. It's the system, you know? So um, yeah, I have some controversial opinions about things and I don't share them often, but you know, this is talking about having compassion for those that may or may not deserve it, you know, depending on who's judging. I love my kids a little less when they don't do their chores. No, you don't. You just dislike them a little bit. Steph, you're so full of it. I severely dislike my neighbor, but if he was screaming for help, I would call the ambulance. That is compassion. Exactly, Holly. Like, your neighbor's an asshole. I've heard stories, but you know, you're just because they're an asshole, you're not just gonna let something bad happen to them, right? I do not agree with the death penalty. Everyone's saying that pedophiles need wiped out. It's not the answer. Rejecting these painful aspects does nothing but bypass. Exactly. It's not a fix all. Like, I get the outrage and I get why people would have that perspective. Trust me, like, I'm one of those people that really had to work through that same perspective. Okay. Um, you know, y'all know my experience with them, not just the ones that harmed my child, but or the one that harmed my child, but the ones that harmed me as a child. I had more hatred for the one that harmed my child than I had for the multiple that victimized me as a child beginning at the age of 2. So I don't align with that concept that they all need to be unalived for what they've done. I do believe that they need mental and emotional support. I do think that they need a lot of help that we haven't even developed yet here. Okay. But they were traumatized usually in the same form and fashion when they were small. So, you know, some of us become inflictors of the same pain that was inflicted upon us, and some of us become supporters and healers of those who have had similar pains inflicted on them, right? So it's all about what you do with the experience. And sadly, you know, sometimes it happens and they become the abuser themselves. So I think that they need to be able to process that trauma in an environment, in a container, right, where they cannot continue to play that out and inflict that pain and trauma onto others. But I also think that they need to be rehabilitated as much as possible within that container so that they can work through that kind of thing. That way they don't take it on into the next life. You know what I mean? So yeah, I have kind of a controversial take on certain things, but it goes more detailed than that, but we don't have the time. Everyone deserves to be in Earth School, but I don't need to love or even like them. Exactly. And if you tread on someone else's free will, you'll get yours. Yep, exactly. That's cause and effect. That's karma. So have the love and compassion for others that you would hope to receive in that given set of circumstances. Or compassion can just look like holding space for someone while they get their karma. It doesn't mean that you need to fight for and advocate for them and say, oh, this is wrong, even though they've done all this wrong. They don't, they shouldn't be. It's not that. Okay, it is what it is. However you feel, whatever your perspective is, do it with as much love as you can. It doesn't mean to bypass how you feel or how you think. It just means to not inflict more of that trauma and pain on any fucking body else, whether they've inflicted it on people or not, or animals. The cycle, some of us took another path but still have to transmute that pain. Yeah, it does not just disappear. Agreed. We need efforts toward rehabilitation. I'm with you and could talk about this all day another time. Yeah, Shauna. Yep, because we're already over an hour. I ain't even halfway through this, but it is what it is. So we're confronting things that we wouldn't want to confront, normally, but we cannot allow this cycle to continue. That's why the chariot is reversed next to the wheel reversed. We cannot allow this cycle to continue, and it's not going to. It's already shifting. It's already changing. There's already so much more light being brought to the collective, trauma and everything that's been inflicted on them by the 1%. The 1% are in spotlight right now. Even the ones that thought they were hiding a little bit in the shadows, they're coming to light too. And this is the time. This is the age of information. This is the age of Aquarius. This is the age of advancement. This is ascension. Before we ascend, though, we have to tend to our anchors, the shit that's anchoring us in the lower frequencies. We have to face it. We have to sort through it. Okay. And some of us need to pay more attention and sort through a lot more of that. That's what we're called to do, like investigators or whoever, whatever, online sleuths, because let's be real here, the investigators aren't going to be investigating anything that doesn't pay off for them and who they work for. So if you feel like you need to be a sleuth and you need to be elbows deep in all of the stuff that's going on, if that's what you're called to do, I'm not here to judge. I'm here to support you. I'm here to encourage you. Do so, but only if you have the bandwidth for it without getting sucked in emotionally, mentally, and all of it. Okay. Because everyone has their different functions. I'm not going to tell you not to be a fucking battle axe warrior and go in there with your guns ablazing. If that's what you're meant to do, if that's what you're called to do, and you can tolerate that and you can navigate that without being personally so deeply impacted that you can't fucking move, then do that, please. That's your function. That's your purpose. And I support you and I encourage you. Do it. If you feel like being supportive of others' emotions who are triggered, but not getting directly involved in it, not speaking up about your personal perspectives or beliefs on the topics, then do that. That's your purpose. Not everyone is going to be on the front lines. Some of us are going to be the medics that are going and supporting mentally, emotionally, even physically sometimes others who have gone into battle, or others who are impacted by just the sight of the atrocity that's taking place. Sorry, I was reading the comments. We're meant to confront it, but maintain our sovereign frequency, because it's not going to be a happy process, okay? It's not. It's ugly. It's shit that's been going on for millennia, that's been hidden, has been suppressed, has been done behind the scenes. It's a lot that people are not equipped to deal with. But we're supposed to maintain as best we can so that we can assist others through it. So we can help others to navigate their own waters, their own beliefs, their own traumas that are triggered by the collective habit. We're here to help them release the bondage. In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Six of Swords is a mother and a child in the boat with a guide. He's guiding them across that channel. You're the guide. First, you had to go through it. First, you had to navigate your own waters. First, you had to, come to terms with your own thoughts and feelings and gain your own perspective on things. You've been doing this for years. You've been alchemizing. You've been facing every fucking shadow. You've been integrating. You've been healing. You've been advocating for yourself and others. That's all you're meant to do moving forward. Exactly what you've been practicing for so long now. And it looks a little different for each of us. So do it. You've had the practice. You have the wisdom. You have the tools. Now apply it to a greater canvas. Self-love, first and foremost. Take care of yourself. Make sure you are mentally, emotionally balanced, spiritually tapped in, spiritually anchored in your own divine, sovereign frequency. Take care of yourself. If it gets overwhelming, even if you're called to be elbows deep in it, like I just talked about, if you start feeling overwhelmed, take a step back. Care for yourself. Take a few days, take a few weeks, whatever it is you need to do to rebalance yourself, because this is war. We're all in it. It's spiritual, it's psychological, but it is war. Those are the worst kinds, because that's not something physical that you can either run up to or run away from. Spiritual and psychological manipulation. It's been done for millennia, but now it's coming to light. Many of us have been doing it for many lifetimes. That's right, Steph. Letting go. We cannot expect ascension to take place if we are so deeply anchored and holding on tightly to what we believe without taking a step aside and looking at the greater picture. When we're so hyper focused on something, that prevents the energy from flowing. That makes us stagnate, right? We need to let it go, see the darkness for what it is, use the light as the tool that it is to shed light onto that darkness, but to integrate it. Integration is the only way. We didn't get ourselves this far by kicking out the shadow, right? We didn't get ourselves this far by avoiding it or pretending it wasn't there. We integrated it. We used it as appropriate. So it's not about ridding the earth of all of the shadows. It's about giving them the time, the energy, the focus. It's about balming the wounds, healing it, and then integrating it. The experience that we gain from it, the knowledge that we gain from those experiences over thousands and thousands of years, we keep that as a record, and then we ascend from there. We won't let it happen again because we've been through it. We've healed it. We have the knowledge. We have the wisdom that we've gained from having gone through that. And then we apply those tools that we gained and the knowledge to ascend. We're not here to rid the darkness. We're here to embrace it, to heal it. but it's not going to look like hugging those who, you know, you know. It's not about that. It's not about saying any of that is okay. It's about putting a stop to the toxicity, to healing it, to integrating it into our collective awareness, our field of collective knowledge, and then ascending past it. And that's ascension. Ascension. And ascension is essentially movement into balance. Okay, the light and the dark, we use them both. We use the knowledge, the truth, and we keep on fucking growing. The end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. We're bringing the end to this tough cycle that's existed for thousands of years. But that doesn't mean that we act like it didn't happen. It doesn't mean that we say, oh, it's okay that it happened. Let's just, give you the freedom to do whatever it is you want to do again. No, that means you get to be held accountable. You get to learn your lesson. You get to go through whatever healing process needs to take place in your container, and watch us fucking take everything that we learned from your shitty behavior and create a better fucking world. Emotions are running high, baby. Super moon. Emotions are indicators of energy. Energy is present. You have an emotional, visceral reaction to it. Okay. That's going to be your compass. That's your gauge. So emotions are going to be running high. You're going to be able to navigate those even better because you've been doing your own shadow work in your own individual timeline and experience. And you've gained the patience, the wisdom, the knowledge, the know-how to get through it, to navigate shadows, to be able to heal them and to integrate the knowledge that you gained from those. Okay. Communication is key, especially whenever emotions are running high. You got to take a step back, rebalance. New moon in Gemini. This is new energy. Okay. This is a new cycle. This is where communication takes precedent and we actually can get some shit going instead of hiding shit under, rocks and behind shadows and all this other shady shit that's been happening by the controllers for so long. This is everything is coming to light. Let's figure out how we can best use this information to help the collective to advance collectively, not just for 1% or 6% or 8% entirely. Okay. What do you need to release? Again, another card of release. Let shit go. Okay. These emotions are going to surface. They're going to be raging within you at times. Okay. But you're going to have to communicate with those emotions. You're going to have to really allow yourself to feel them first and foremost. Okay. Express them however you need to in healthy ways. And then come back to your center and really think, okay, now I have this information. I know how I feel about it. I know what I want to do about it because of how I feel about it. How can we best approach this and take this forward in a way that's going to benefit the collective instead of benefiting one or two groups of people? Okay. Adjustments are required. We're going to have to come together as a collective. We're going to have to communicate with one another and adjust the way that societies are run. But it's doable, especially whenever all of the shadows have come to the light and we know exactly what's been happening and who done it. We can better communicate. We can better plant seeds for a new prosperous future for all of us. It's going to take some adjustments. It's going to take some forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't mean it's okay what you did to me. Go ahead and do it again. No, this means, you know what? My past has no control over where my future goes. Our collective darkness, our collective past has absolutely no power over where we're going moving forward because we've all chosen that we want to ascend. We don't want to live this way anymore. We don't want to, live as enslaved beings. Not going to happen anymore. We know too much now. More and more is going to come to light. More and more is going to provoke you, going to piss you off, going to upset you, going to trigger you. It's going to happen because shit's hitting the motherfucking fan right now. And we've only scratched the surface. This goes deeper, much deeper. Okay? Honor your own energy. Let go of things that are out of your control. Okay? If it's not within your immediate control, then don't allow it to dictate how you feel or how you think or how you make your choices and decisions. Okay? Balance spirituality and practicality. It's not practical to operate from a place of high emotion, from intensity. It's just not, it's going to backfire. Okay? Whatever you're fighting against is going to persist. And whenever you are too focused and too attached to the outcome, that's impractical. It's going to backfire. It's not going to manifest in the way that you want it to. The only way to manifest the outcomes that you desire is to move ahead at a balanced pace, remain detached, but focused on the overall outcome. And it's difficult. I know, all right? But we've all been practicing manifestation in our own lives, in our own, set of circumstances. We've been practicing for the big show, collectively manifesting an outcome that can benefit the whole. So advocate, speak it, teach it to others. Be with others who are triggered right now if you're called to do so, if you have anyone in your immediate experience that's deeply triggered by it. Whatever you've learned, pass it on. That's what teaching is. It's taking what you've learned, taking what you've experienced, and passing it on so it'll benefit others. Friday night, when bringing Annie home from her LGBTQ Valentine's party in the rain, a young homeless guy asked for directions on the trolley. We had him switch trolleys with us and then showed him how to get to an overnight shelter. There were other young people waiting. Annie gave him her umbrella, though she wasn't dressed for the cold weather. That's so sweet. While walking home, she said she couldn't just leave him standing in the rain. He needed an umbrella more than she. I'm so proud of Annie and her empathy for others. Just wanted to share. That's beautiful, Susan. Give Annie a big hug for us. That was really sweet. And whenever you're passing on what you've learned, what you've experienced, and be able to make that person or those people's lives that much better, benefiting from the information that you have to pass on, baby, we all grow. Growth. That's okay, Dallas. Nice to see you, darling. Thank you for joining us. Awesome. Katie, your students are going to gravitate to you. I promise you. Promise. It happened the first time. Okay? Just remember, you've already done it. I'm not triggered by the info coming out. I've known about it for years. It needs to come out, and my brass knuckles are infused with love and light. It's time for a reckoning. Yes, Steph, I love it. That's the Urma. Nothing will come of this situation, void of course, moon. This is about the collective control. It's right next to the devil card, okay? They can't win. The truth is, it's a pandemic of truth now, you guys. We've experienced pandemics, right? This is a pandemic of truth. This is, whatever they're trying to control, whatever they're trying to harness and play against us is not fucking working. We've been through this shit for lifetimes now. We're remembering who the fuck we are, whether we're consciously aware of other experiences we've had or not. It doesn't matter. People cannot deny who they truly are anymore. It's becoming rampant. It's like the whole place is infected with truth or something. Like, this will end. Life as we know it, the old third dimension, all of that shit It has to end because we're meant to ascend right now. Look at all of the planetary energies and alignments that are taking place. The and I want, yeah, that does apply. I was going to say interdimensional. That's not what I meant. I was going to say intergalactic. That's what I truly meant. But these intergalactic, interdimensional, I want to say beings. They call them comets or space debris and things like that. They're conscious. They're beings. Um, they're lending their frequencies to our plane at this time. Oh, awesome. Love you, Brandon. So it's time. All of the conditions are right. There's a shift. It's already happening. They cannot stop it, but they're going to throw every fucking thing they possibly can at it to try to confuse and cause chaos on their way out. They're kicking and screaming on their way out like a fucking toddler. We knew this. We've been talking about this for the last 3 years. We've been prepared for this. But now that we're in it, it can be appalling. It can be shocking. It can be a big, huge jolt. It can be a huge trigger. But we've been preparing for this. And it's happening. So celebrate the fact that it's happening. Even though there's so much chaos. Even though there's so much ugliness flying around. We've been fucking training for this. Within our own lived experiences. And with our own past life experiences. That a lot of us have come to have revealed to us in some form or fashion, most of us by hypnosis because we're all from Dolores group. But we're this, like the meme I posted last week, this ain't our first rodeo. It's not even our second. Okay. So it's still a low number of rodeos. Yes, I get it. But baby, we've been training for this shit. We've been expecting the fall for a long time now. We've been awakening to our own shadows. We've been awakening to the truths and our own experiences. We've fought our own demons at first, and then we realized that that's just another version of us. And the only reason it's loud and ugly is because we've been trying to ignore it. So we sat with it. We had tea with it. We learned about it, why it was there, how it came to be, where it came from. We got to the root of it. We healed ourselves so that we could continue to move forward in this life. And now that we've done that and we've mastered that, even if we don't feel like we've mastered it, some of us, we've still done it. We've accomplished so much in the last few years just since we have known one another. And I couldn't be more proud. And I can see in each and every one of you the growth that has taken place and your place in all of this and what you have to contribute to the greater collective. And it is absolutely amazing, stunning, and beautiful. And I couldn't ask for a better soul tribe here. So we're growing. It's a new day, baby. We're bringing that fucking light by integrating our shadows, pulling them out of our back pockets, and fighting side by side with our demons as these other greater collective ones start to disperse. So that is what I got for you. Oh yeah, we knew the chaos was coming. We were ready. Definitely ready for the zombie apocalypse. The zombie apocalypse. Have you ever noticed how have you taken into account that the zombies are unconscious beings that devour human flesh? Look what's come up in the e-files lately. They are not well, I mean, they're literal and metaphoric, and the zombies ain't us. They're not us. So, yeah. Another revelation I just had like the other day. was like, oh, because there's so many zombie apocalypse movies, and there's always an agenda for having so many of one thing out in the, in the television programming, that I was like, wait, I paused on it and I was like, give me some info. And we're not the zombies. We don't feast on human flesh. We're not unconscious entities that are going around devouring human beings. But there are those that do, and they spread that virus amongst themselves. So the zombie apocalypse films are not very far off, you guys. Welcome. Love you. So relevant and resonant. Thank you, Susan. I love you. Thank you, Shauna. Love you. Thank you, Mala. Love you. I know it's you. Take care. Have a beautiful day, Mala. Well, tomorrow when you wake up. I know it's nighttime for you. All right, guys. So that's what I got. Another hour and a half long reading this week, but I guess it needed to be said. Tell live vision. Yeah, I like that one, Steph. It's so true. So yeah, don't be fooled by what they tell you to believe. Okay, there's always some kind of agenda, some kind of manipulation that's happening. Take a step back, view it through the lens of the government and Hollywood are always lying to you to get you to believe what they want you to believe, so you're easier to manipulate. So, yeah. I love you guys. I will see you guys same time, same day next week. Take care of yourselves and let me know how everything's going. Post to the group, whatever you want to do. Post to, I don't think you can post to my timeline. I have a setting on there, but we understand what's going on with the television. So much tomfoolery. I agree, Shauna. I've been wanting folks to watch the anime shows The Promised Neverland and Attack on Titan. They are truth, very unsettling, but I tapped in and yep. Yes, ma'am. Thank you guys. I love you. Mwah. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you next week. Bye.